What it do, homies? We out here with some new Knox. This time we checking out the pot and the kettle. Let's go ahead, shut up, turn it up.
My neighbor once had a tea kettle.
Oh boy,
A tea kettle.
what's the point?
A tea kettle. My neighbor once had a tea kettle.
Oh boy,
A tea kettle.
really?
A tea kettle. But she ain't even drink tea.
You know what? One thing that I've come to notice, especially in music production or especially in songwriting in general, is that generally, whenever something is repeated a bunch of times, whether it be in the hook, in the chorus, or even being in the actual lyric themselves, there is some importance to this. Now, obviously, it's titled "The Pot and the Kettle," but the amount of times he just repeats "tea kettle, tea kettle, tea kettle," it's almost like he's saying, now remember this part in the story because it's going to be important when the story comes full circle.
Really?
A tea kettle. But she ain't even drink tea. Steaming, the story gets better. Let me stir the pot. It was May weather. I was on probation, serving some time for some slight complications. Community service was served with my papers, so I spent time with this elderly lady. She was my neighbor. She did me some favors. Sit around the house and I would wash the pots. I wipe the tops and spots and wait. Stop. Where you going with this waffle plot? You helped an old ass hag had a carpet washed? Oh dear, boo-hoo, what an awful job. But wait a minute, let me finish and we'll call the cops. Call the cops? No, the ops. Was she having a heart attack? No, sit back, relax, I'll recall the facts. Just please retell my story, that is all I ask.
All right. Yeah, we here to listen to the story because I was sitting here wondering where he was going. Also, it looks like this is done. It almost kind of looks like it's done in one take. I'm not too sure because of the lighting in the front. You don't see that lighting here well. Knox is known for doing some one take videos, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did do this in one take. The syncing is crazy. That's one thing that you'll see a lot when it comes to people who do make music and you start making the music videos, getting that sync perfect to capture that believability that you are actually saying these words, in the set is a whole nother skill set, right? And I would think that he probably is actually saying it right to make sure it syncs up, but still, even then, it's still a skill.
Yeah, boo-hoo, what an awful job. But wait a minute, let me finish and we'll call the cops. Call the cops? No, the ops. Was she having a heart attack? No, sit back, relax, I'll recall the facts. Just please retell my story, that is all I ask. My neighbor once had a tea kettle.
What?
A tea kettle.
Fuck?
A tea kettle.
His
My
face is
neighbor once had a
disgusting.
tea kettle.
What?
A tea kettle.
What's the point?
A tea kettle.
What's the point?
But she ain't even drink tea.
Milk with the sugar, drink it down. My favorite drink's a different type of brown. If I had it, she will frown. But who cares? Yeah, who cares? Cause she don't even like tea.
This is the part of the bass that's abrasive. A quarter to 8 and my fade is a weight. And I'm staring at her face and I thought about her facelift to give her something great and say, hey, you're amazing. So I took the tea kettle off a shelf. It was looking kinda used like a help. Couple stains and it had a funny smell. But it always gave her hope, it was like a wishing well. That's nice, she cared for it, I could tell. Well, so I knew what to do. What's that? Go and get it renewed. But I never really understood the construct of renewed. Cause it's already used, why not buy something new? Ask anyone if they really had to choose. Would they prefer something new? I would.
Well, the whole entire thing of getting something renewed would be emotional, kind of like value. You know what I mean? Like for instance, for me, I have an iPhone 10, right? iPhone 10 is pretty old. Technology standards is pretty old. But I started my channel on that phone. So I don't want to get a new, I am going to get a new iPhone, but maybe eventually and everything, but I've held off for so long because I didn't want anything new. It had sentimental value. I have an emotional attachment to it. And if you was to go and get it renewed or get it buffed or something like that, I'd probably feel some type of way, right? Because I like it just the way it is. So I kind of see where Knox is kind of going with this, with the kettle, with the tea kettle, because she didn't even drink tea. It's just about the sentimental value, right? The emotional attachment, which I guess we're about to uncover right here.
Why not buy something new? Ask anyone if they really had to choose. Would they prefer something new? I would. My neighbor once had a tea kettle.
What?
A tea kettle.
Fuck?
A tea kettle. My neighbor once had a tea kettle.
What?
A tea kettle.
What's the point?
A tea kettle. But she ain't even drink tea.
Milk with the sugar, drink it down. My favorite drink's a different type of brown. If I had it, she will frown. But who cares? Yeah, who cares? Cause she don't even like tea.
Old antique shop down the road, dark and musty, filled with holes. Took that kettle, they refilled the cuts. Lot of ash and dust that I filled it up. They had it buffed, all this.
Hey, yo, he said there was a lot of ash and dust, bro. Don't tell me somebody got cremated in that thing. Like maybe her husband or a loved one and everything. Maybe that was their, maybe it was theirs favorite tea kettle. You know what I mean? You just dumped it all out. Ain't no way that's what that is.
That kettle, they refilled the cuts. Lot of ash and dust that I filled it up. They had it buffed, all the scuffs. It was good as new. Maybe I should rethink this whole word renew. Anyways, I took it back home to its owner. This old and used, came renewed like a donor. Knock on the door, she was there on a chair, looking at a shelf with a cold blank stare. Surprise, I'm here. Hey, look what I got. Applied and refreshed, I'd emptied it out. Inside was a mess. Here, Miss Bevel, this is what you wanted. It's your tea kettle. Miss Bevel? Why you got a shotgun, Miss Bevel? Put the gift down and I started to tremble.
What have you done, you delinquent devil? Why'd you have to go and steal my tea kettle?
I
emptied the ash of the husband I loved.
No.
You wiped all our memories out with a sponge.
Who else is on here? Because that sounds like, it almost kind of sounds like Ren a little bit. I mean, I hear Knox, he's a director, producer, Josh, hair, makeup, neighbor, special David Curry, landed home, recreation and reclamation yard. Okay, it almost kind of sounds like Samad was on the production engineering. Okay, I should have looked at this earlier. That was kind of sounded like Ren, but I hear Knox in it as well. That's why I kind of was like confused. Well, I love that. I think the vocal chain you got on there, the effects and stuff you got on there, very creepy.
No. You wiped all our memories out with a sponge. I gave you a chance and you ruined what was. My life is now empty. No. But you'll fill it up. Please. Yes, you'll fill it up. No. My tea kettle. I'm sorry. My tea kettle.
My neighbor once had a tea kettle. A tea kettle. A tea kettle. Now I'm the one living inside.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Somebody could get up, yeah.
Tea, anyone?
Yeah, that was something creepy. Okay, now let's try to dig underneath the surface here, right? Kind of like under the surface of what he was telling. Now, there's that old saying that, isn't that in the pot calling the kettle black or something like that? Is that the tea kettle black or something like that? I might be going anywhere. But I think if I was to take anything away from this, right, it would be obviously, one man's trash is I would say one man's trash, no treasure, but maybe not that. It's just that things that we think that are trash, right? Things that we just simply can't understand or try to come to understand doesn't mean it should be like disrespected or changed in a way that we think it should be, right? Or always kind of assume a positive intent as well. If you see some dusty stuff around and everything, that maybe it has some type of symptom. I think having a little bit of awareness and some emotional intelligence as well to be able to discern these things before it's absolutely too late. You actually ruin somebody's life by doing something like that. Now we see that he got put in that kettle, right? He got put in that kettle from sticking his nose into things that he had no business doing. Maybe that's the lesson with this song. It's possible I could be reaching, but that can also be it. Don't stick your nose into any other people's business, right? Don't try to be too kind or kind of understand your barriers, if you will. I feel like he might have been saying a lot here. It is possible that this song is just 100%, face value. He's just telling a story, making it super creepy, but this brain of mine wants to go in there and say, no, like Matumbo. There's something else here. Anyways, that's the end of this video. If I can get this fly out of here, Dave's out.